All right, so I'm going to give you some strategies here on how to make our picnic table. You do not have to follow these strategies if you get the correct final result, whatever way works for you, but I'm going to show you what I feel like is a pretty efficient way to make this. So I am going to make these pieces separately and then put them together into the smaller parts of this. So this first board is 52 inches. This way is 3.5. It tells us right here, 52, 3.5, inch and a half thick. So I'm going to draw the rectangle. Do not click before you put the measurements in. You can click, and sometimes it works, but it's just a little bit more reliable. Do not click. Just let go of the mouse and type 52, 3.5. Oops, a little typo there. 52, 3.5. And hit enter, and it will give you the measurements that you want. This pulls out 1.5 inches, so I'm going to pull it up, 1.5. There we have our first board. Now the second board is the same measurement, except with the 60-degree corners. So I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to hit Control-C to copy, I click up here, Control-V to paste, and now I can cut the angles out of there. Before we go on, make a component out of the first board so that it is one thing. So the protractor tool. And just a general SketchUp hint, always kind of rotate so you can see things well. For instance, trying to make this angle here, you're probably going to want this to sit pretty close to how you're looking at it in the diagram that you're trying to make it from. So going back to SketchUp, I'm going to use the protractor tool. And we're going to start from the corner, the top corner. We're going to click once, wiggle it a little bit, click it again. You can see down in the corner it's showing the angle. All you have to do is type in the 60 and hit enter. That makes it 60 degrees. Go to the other corner. Click once, wiggle it a little bit, click again. And sometimes you're going to have to use complementary or supplementary angles. So to make it 60 degrees, you need to make it 120. You have to cut those corners off. So this is already three-dimensional. We're going to draw that angle, but we not just on one side. We need to draw all the way around from one side to the other, and then it needs to meet the other point here. It'll tell you when it's on there. It'll tell you it's an endpoint when it's meeting. You don't have to guess. And after that, we can delete this corner. And same thing for this side. This is a good one to see. Again, see this technique of drawing, match the angle. Draw straight down, make sure it's straight. And then take that and meet it up with the corner. It'll tell you what's on the end point. And delete. Now that it all looks good, select it, right click, and make it, select it, right click, make it a component. Here's another way to make these items. So the next piece, 24 inches, 60 degrees. Got another strategy that could work a little bit better for some of you. Let's erase our old guidelines so they're not laying around extra. Give yourself a little bit of space. So we want 24 by 3.5, enter. Now we can also use the protractor tool first. Again, we're going for 60 degrees. Whoops. Looks like I need to use 120 this time. There's the 60. Whoops, that's not good. And we want another 60 on this side. Click twice, and 60. And we can, just to save a bit of time, you can cut the corners off before you make it three-dimensional. And that takes a few steps out of the process. If that works better for you. So pull it up, 1.5, And there you go. And just like before, make it a component. All right, the next shape, 33 inches. And then each corner, again, is 60 degrees. So we want 33 by 3.5. And each corner is 60 degrees, but it's 60 degrees and each side is parallel. It's more of a rhombus here, so we need to cut it a little bit differently. So protractor tool, and we want double click, and it looks like we have to do the 120 degrees here instead of 60. Now, this one's gonna be a little bit different. We want this, we want this angle to be 60 degrees from this corner. So it's parallel. Again, we slice it. The eraser tool, delete each corner, and then feel free to delete the guidelines because everything looks squared away. We're going to pull it 1.5 inches, 1.5. That's all done. So make a component. And it looks like we have one part left right here. So this last piece is going to be 23 inches with 45-degree angles coming from the bottom. So let's get out of our way here so we have room to work. All right. So we want, again, let me double check. So it's 23 inches, 45, 45. So we make our 23 by 3.5, 23, comma, 3.5, enter. And let's do our angles already. So we have, again, 45 degrees from the bottom. So protractor tool, click once, wiggle, click again, 45. Good, and that looks right. From this other side, click, wiggle, click, and 45, and use the line and cut the other side, use the eraser, delete the extra guidelines, use the pull tool. We've done this a few times now. Use the pull tool, oops, not that far, 1.5, and select it, right click, make component. So now we have all the 5 main pieces laid out here. We're not going to worry about the bolts. We could, but let's just leave that. If you get finished early and you really want to add that, it's not a problem. But that, again, is how to make all 5 pieces.